Want to hear the story of how I got Brian May's permission, that's right, Brian May from Queen's permission to use one of their songs in my first ever short film? And the use of a George Lucas Star Wars certified camera. This is with no budget and no connections to the film industry, by the way.
You do?
Excellent. Then let's begin. So let's start way back. Let's start when I was just 17 and I watched the Blair Witch Project for the first time at the cinema. This is the first time that I realised that filmmaking could be accessible to anyone. And in the wake of that movie, I asked a friend of mine who was a big horror fan like myself, would he be interested in writing a horror screenplay with me? Now, technologically speaking, this was long enough ago that just recording our writing sessions was, well, not an easy process. I would have to hike a portable stereo system in a sports bag all the way through town, up a steep hill to his apartment.
Dramatization may not have happened.
We would record all the plot points on a cassette tape and then I would put it back in the sports bag and take it all the way back through town so I could type it up at home. I know. Sounds medieval, doesn't it?
You're using coconuts. What?
And I did this for weeks, up and down the hill, just to get a story together. But, come the end of that process, I had a feature film script. And I was super excited about having accomplished something so big. A whole feature film. It felt like something I could tick off of the creative bucket list. But there was something inside of me that was gnawing away. Not a squirrel down my shirt. Even from the very first days of putting that script together. Because as exciting as this process was, how was I ever going to get this movie made? You see, even though it's considered super cheap for a feature film, The Blair Witch still cost $30,000 to produce. I didn't have that kind of money. I mean, does anybody have that kind of money lying around? I should say at this point in the story as well that this was in the days before phones had video recorders in them. It's actually before the days that DSLR cameras had video functionality too. The only way you could shoot a movie back then was to either film it on a fuzzy looking home camcorder or cripple yourself with the debt of hiring or buying real film equipment. At this point, I didn't even have enough money to make something of an example to show any potential investors what could be achieved. What does someone in that position do? I mean, surely you can't just walk into a film festival with a script in hand and go, "Hi everyone, I'm Paul, this is my script. Can I have tens of thousands of your dollars, please?" Yeah, right. So, imposter syndrome kind of set in and I started to make up excuses for why I shouldn't be really going for this thing. Well, part of me thought that. There was another part of me, let's call him Never Say Die Paul, who was kicking and screaming on the inside saying, "No, screw this, I want to make a film right now." So feeding off of Never Say Die Paul, I made a plan. It was quite a short plan, but that plan included a list of things that I couldn't do right now and things I could do. What I could do was write more screenplays, short film screenplays to be exact. If I didn't have the means to develop my filmmaking skills, I was damn sure I was going to start improving upon the one area that I had unlimited access to. I was going to write and write and write some more. I was going to enter my screenplays into screenwriting competitions because you can't get imposter syndrome from the other side of a submissions form. And then someday, one of these scripts was going to be judged by a panel and it was going to win. And someone was going to say, "My God, the person who wrote this is clearly a genius and we must give them all the money they need to make this into a feature film, never mind just a short film. And by the way, they seem like such a great screenwriter, I'm sure they'll be able to direct easy." I'd done it again. I just swapped one set of excuses for another. I mean, I didn't want to hide behind my screenplay. I didn't want to hide behind my desk. Never Say Die Paul knew it and I knew it too. But how could I make a movie without any of the necessary means to do it? I was angry, I was upset, I was frustrated. What was I going to do? But at that very moment, a friend of mine suggested a solution. That's right, I partied, I tried to forget my frustrations. And whilst I tried to do this, a friend of a friend started a conversation with me. "So, what are you doing right now?" "Writing," I said. I've been writing some short films. And what are you going to do with them? And instead of sheepishly feeding this guy the same lies I've been feeding myself, I decided to be honest about it. I don't know. I want to make a short film, but I don't know how to get my hands on any filmmaking gear. I just got a job as a runner at a TV production company, is what he replied. I've got the keys to the equipment locker and I can use it any weekend I want. Never say die, Paul awoke with a start. Do you want to make a film together? Sure. And it dawned on me, instead of feeling sullen or disgruntled or stalling myself from the inevitable disappointment of doing nothing about this situation, what I should have been doing is screaming about it from the rafters. Not in that I could have been a contender kind of way. That was a terrible impression, mind. I could have been a contender. That was no better. Not in that sort of way. More in the sort of way of, I've got a great idea, but I need help in order to make it happen. Can you help me? Because by being vocal about wanting to actually make a film, I'd managed to get the attention of someone who had all of the means by which to make a movie and no script to shoot. I'd managed to find a producer. My new producer also told me that whilst having all the equipment we'd ever need to shoot our script, he also had access to a Sony HDM70. This is the camera that George Lucas used to shoot all of the digital footage on The Phantom Menace. So in the space of one conversation, I'd gone from an unpaid screenwriter with no means of which to make a film to an unpaid director with a producer and the means to make a completely legitimate looking film.
Hello?
I'm making a movie. Turns out these are the 4 words that excite most people outside of the film industry more than most. People hear it and their eyes grow wide, their ears pick up. They want to share in it. So if you can follow up these words with such sentences as, I need your help with, can I borrow this, may I use your, etc, etc. You're going to get a positive response and get one step closer to making your movie a reality. And from this moment on, that's all I did. I asked 3 other friends who I knew loved movies, I'm making a film. I need crew. Do you want to be involved? I've been doing work experience at a photographer's. I went up to him and said, I know nothing about cinematography. I'm making a film. Would you please be our cinematographer? He said yes. Now we have professional lighting and someone who knew how to use them. I'd worked in a school and made friends with the music teacher there. I said to him, I need a piano part in my short film. I can't play piano. Can you write a score for me? Not only did he say yes, he said he'd mentioned it to a friend who was a musical director in the West End and he wanted to get involved too. In fact, he kind of had something in mind and he was going to ask his boss if he could sample something from his back catalogue in order to compose it. Perfect. What show does he work on? We Will Rock You. We Will Rock You. So his boss is Brian May. Yes, Brian May. Of Queen. Yeah, of Queen. Okay. We shot that first short entitled The Temp over the Easter weekend. At the end of that 4-day production, I'd managed to obtain, with relatively no budget whatsoever, just a few of us kind of chipping in £100 each to sort out food and travel. I'd obtained 3 lead actors, 3 supporting actors, a group of 20 extras, 5 locations including 2 commercial ones, a car and a bicycle. I'd also managed to borrow a Star Wars cleared cinematic camera and the rights to use the song Bicycle by Queen in my first short film. I'd also gained permission, via my producer, who wanted to be an editor anyway, access to a professional editing suite every weekend I needed to get the film cut. Was I lucky? Yes, very lucky. But there is a saying about creating your own luck through working hard and being prepared when an opportunity arrives. But to that saying, I would add this, that luck can also be made by being vocal about what it is you want to do and what you need in order to achieve that. Because the next person you open up and speak to about that might have been looking for you to come along and help them reach their goal too. And don't wait about or let it accidentally happen like it did to me. Those people are already out there. You can find them at independent film festivals and on independent filmmaking networks. And if you're ready to start putting together that first script so you can go out and find people who can help you make that a movie reality, then I suggest you click on this video here, as it's going to tell you all about the first rule of screenwriting. I'll see you there. Thanks for watching, filmmaker.